All right, in 3, 2, 1.
Run! Go! Get to the podcast!
Are you telling me that you built a time machine? Out of a podcast?
I have come here to chew bubblegum and
Podcast.
and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Get to the Podcast. That's Get to the Podcast with number 2. My name is Diego D'Souza.
His name's Diego D'Souza, and my name is Nick Gambino.
And I'm Neil Carson. That threw me off.
I love it because you guys are like so just blandly going through it. It's not even thinking. It's on automatic.
Badass intros.
I just throw these things in. I like to create chaos just for the fuck of it.
Yeah. And let me just put a warning label on this podcast because Nick fucking created a list before we decided on this shit. He was like, I'm gonna take the best films out there ever, and put them on my list.
I like how you just said that my list is the best. Thank you. So we're doing best buddy cop flicks.
I don't think he caught my statement.
Yeah, that's basically what you said. We're doing best buddy cop flicks.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say it's the best list, but there's they're good movies on the list.
Okay, here's what we're doing. We're doing best buddy cop flicks, but it's not limited to this list. We will probably do a part 2 another time. Like any of these are favorites or top or best list that we do. We'll always do a number 2 episode later to revisit and add more movies.
That's always been our podcast. We're gonna do the top, but it's not technically the top. It's just up there.
It's not the best. It's just kind of like we just throw that on there for clickbait title.
Yeah, basically.
It's not.
This is to celebrate the future release of Bad Boys 3, which is probably never going to happen.
I know, Bad Boys for life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
trying to make this.
It might
movie
happen.
For life.
It might happen. It might happen.
It's called trying to make this film for life.
Yeah, seriously.
Anywho.
I feel like Will Smith isn't doing anything. He's going on dates with robots. And
Dude,
stuff.
did you see that? That's
I
hilarious.
Yeah. You know they're going to be making.
He's created a whole YouTube channel.
You know, there's 48 hours, another 48 hours. They are making another one. Yet another 48 hours.
Really?
With a 75-year-old Nick Nolte.
No.
And no, they're not doing that.
Yeah.
But that would be great, wouldn't it? I want to see Nick Nolte being a retired old piece of furniture.
I want to see Eddie Murphy in a movie. That's what I want to see.
I know. I love him.
What the hell is he doing?
Did he retire?
He did say he's a semi-retired. He did say he's a gentleman of leisure these days. But he did say he's done making those movies that are really kind of just what the fuck is this?
He made
he's
done
done making those
a
movies.
handful of those weird kind of like comedies, but what was that last one he did where he was like a mini alien dude? It was living inside the head.
Meet Dave.
That was actually a funny movie.
Yeah, he did Norbit.
Humor.
He did Norbit. I mean, he said he's done making movies like that, and he just wants to make movies. If he reads the script and it really just kind of resonates, it could be dramas. He did that Mr. Church movie. Yeah. If he really likes it and it speaks to him, he'll do it.
Yeah.
That's
well, we'll hope to see you soon.
That's nice.
Yeah. He's flirted with getting back into stand-up for a while. All right, but let's get into...
All right, so who's going to go first?
Oh, no, I don't
Not me.
So, all right, I guess I'll go first because I'm disappointed because Nick already came with his shit. Before we even announced it, he was
prepared.
Yeah, this guy, this was weeks ago. He's like, I'm gonna announce this.
I did it literally, as we were
planned.
just talking 5 minutes ago, I just put it together. I'm always working while you guys are bullshitting. That's all that's happening.
How the fuck are we bullshitting? We're coming up with a topic.
No.
And you're already here. I'm going to plant the topic in, and then I'm going to have my list
You
already
wanted to
ready
do the topic.
from 5 weeks ago.
I win.
You guys should swap lists.
No.
That's interesting.
I don't love his list like he loves his list.
I like my list because it's different.
Do you love your list? It is different.
Look,
He's
here's
not
the thing.
satisfied.
No, I'm not satisfied because I think he took top great films and fucking put it on his list.
We should make it clear.
Because
if we could do duplicates, we like so much of the same films that we would probably all have similar films or the same films on each of our lists on any
why
category.
You're not doing 48 hours though. You wanted to do 48 hours. Why aren't you doing that one?
Because I just don't really. It wasn't my. I don't want to name your films, so it wasn't.
48 hours isn't my. No, you brought up 48 hours.
I don't want to name your films.
You brought it up. I didn't. You brought up 48
listening?
hours. What is he?
Is there this?
No, he doesn't because
I like how he's trying to communicate something that doesn't make any sense. And he's like, "Is he listening?" I'm like,
obviously he
understood.
English. Obviously he understood.
You explain.
He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to spoil the films that you picked because those are the films that he wants.
What?
How do you not get that?
I don't want to spoil your list right now.
Yeah, I know, but why don't you do 48 hours though?
Because I like another film better.
Yeah, he likes the films he picked.
But I'm saying better than the list you have.
Shut the fuck up and leave my list alone. and stay on your list.
Leave my list
This
alone.
is like, all right, just so people
So
know,
like-
we could spend like an hour just picking and arguing over who gets what great
know.
film.
I'ma
on
just
their
get
list.
started.
I
because
see
we
you
all
have a
want
good
this
list.
done.
You do have a good
So
list.
I have
just-
a good
it's
list.
not
My
my-
list
it's
is
not the list I
different.
would have picked.
My list is different. I know
You'd
it's
think
not.
we
so
just
shut the fuck
pick
up.
these
and
and,
my
like,
list would have
without
had
discussion.
something on top.
Never.
Yeah,
That
my
never
list would have had
happens.
something else on top if it wasn't for Nick. So fuck it. All right, so I'm
You want-
actually
you
doing
want
this
some- I'll take
different.
something else. You
No,
want-
no,
you
no,
want
no,
one
no,
of
no.
the- I
We're
don't
good.
want 'em
No,
anymore.
no. I'm gonna be the
You're
good guy
spoiling
here.
them.
I'm gonna be the good guy. You're gonna be the jackass. All right, so
Good guy can still be the jackass.
So my list, I kind of went a little bit different. I went almost a little bit. Actually, I technically went darker with the
Yeah, well,
buddy
yeah.
cop films.
Definitely.
So
Yeah,
I
normally
chose,
when you think buddy cop, you think there's a comedic element to it, but you
Yeah,
pick
There are
someone
some
with
And I
dark.
that.
have one
yeah,
in
they're
there.
definitely
Yeah.
dark, like, you know.
Yeah.
but there's dark. Yeah,
Buddy
so
cop.
But they're cops.
They are buddies, and they're cops.
buddy
sometimes.
and they're
Not
cops.
all of them,
Yeah.
though. Go
Well,
ahead.
Not all
cops,
of them. Yeah, that's true.
They're within the force. So the first one I pick is Training Day.
Yeah. I
Does
mean,
it-
again, I don't know if they're buddies.
From what
but-
I understand,
So
that's
in
a
the
very
begin-
dark
yeah,
movie.
no.
Yeah, you haven't seen it.
I can't believe who the fuck can believe that you have not seen that film.
There are a lot of movies I haven't seen. All right, guys.
There is. Here's
There are
the
a lot
thing.
of movies that I have seen that a lot of other people haven't seen.
Here's the
so-
thing. I'm gonna take
Sure.
what I do against Nick and I'm gonna throw it at you. This is a film that I do not know
He's gonna pull out his
anybody,
penis. Watch.
any fucking body that has not seen this film. Within my, there could be people that has not seen this film, which obviously you.
Yeah.
But I do not know anybody that I've talked about or mentioned this film in conversations that has not seen this.
You know what it is?
I'm
when
sorry.
It
That
came
was
out,
a long way of just saying most people have seen the movie.
I'm sorry. Is this mic still on?
That took forever.
You know what it is? The film came out, and then I read what it was about, and I saw the trailer, and like I think I heard several people I'd known had seen it, and they would tell me a little bit about it, and I was like, man, I don't want to watch a movie where Denzel Washington plays this like really, really bad guy.
Yeah.
Not like just a bad guy, like a real
He's a piece of shit. He
He's a
is.
piece of
And I
shit
just
in this
thought
film.
I don't have to see that now. Like I could see it later because I really liked. Like to me, he was like in my top 5 like greatest actors.
Yeah.
Good
like,
guys?
good guy actors.
Yeah.
I
But-
generally don't have a list of like actors that can play bad guys,
Villain?
but sometimes some
Alan
actors are more
Rickman,
versatile.
Alan Rickman, Anthony.
Oh, Alan
Hopkins.
Rickman's yeah.
But he does a really good job. He won
does
an
an
Oscar
incredible
for
job.
it.
He
He
won an
literally
Oscar.
won
He
an
should have,
Academy
yeah.
Award
Yeah.
for Training Day.
he should have won one for Glory.
Yeah, he did.
He got nominated.
A lot of
No, he
people
got, he
should
won.
have
He
won.
won Best Supporting Actor. It was his Best Actor win
Oh,
for
yeah.
Training Day, but he won
Yeah.
a Supporting Actor Oscar for Glory in the 80s.
Okay.
88.
So
But
him and Ethan Hawke, I think.
what's the movie about?
So
Real
the
quick.
movie is about.
Ethan Hawke,
So Ethan Hawke and
newly assigned.
no, Ethan Hawke and Denzel Washington. They're the buddy cops. So they are. Ethan Hawke is new to this whole scene of this like elite type of cops, and so Denzel Washington is training him.
Are they
So
narcotics cops? Are they?
They're like they're
Narcos?
like narcs. Yeah.
In a really rough neighborhood.
Yeah, in a really is it L.A.? I don't remember. I haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah, I think it might be LA.
I think it is.
I
Yeah,
think
it is
so.
L.A. It is L.A. So
Who directed this?
Fuck me in the
ooh,
dick nuts. Shit. I know this.
are you faster than Google?
Yeah,
you
it's,
know?
Antoine Fuqua. That's right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Anton Fuqua.
Same time. Yeah. It's on Fuqua.
Fuqua.
Yeah.
He's
So
made a bunch of really good films.
Yeah, he has.
so basically, as he's training Ethan Hawke and they're going through the process, Ethan Hawke starts to realize and he starts seeing like there's some underground shit going on with Denzel Washington. He has like he's dealing some shit. He's doing some shit that's basically illegal.
Yeah.
And so
He's a crooked cop.
and
He's like, but he's
a
playing
fucking-
the bad guys and the good. Like he's playing
Yeah.
all sides. He's
Yeah.
not really for either.
No, he has this morale to him. He's like, so I do this to keep this in line. I do this to make sure that this happens and stuff. So Denzel Washington has a morale to what he's doing.
Or he has
trying to say-
morality.
justification.
Yeah,
like
he has
justifies,
justification. Yeah, I won't even say a morality is justification. So he's doing the things the way he can control it.
Yeah,
he
right.
said the system can't be controlled any other way by being all good. You have to break that line and you have to do some illegal shit to control the system.
Yeah.
So this is how he keeps this group of people in line, but associating himself with this group of people, and it's crazy.
And Ethan
But-
Hawke's looking forward to this assignment, and he's sort of like
Exactly.
he's a fresh kind of cop, and he's like excited to really do some good and work with this
Exactly.
guy who's like really well respected. Yeah, and it goes fucking
What the fuck
south.
is happening?
I thought you were about to say something.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly. And
It
he's
goes
like,
south.
The whole movie takes place in one day.
Yeah,
In one
training
day.
day.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
literally his
Training
training
day.
day because that's his the vet cop that he's linked up with.
I know how it
That is-
ends.
Well, yeah, let's not say that. Let's not
let's-
spoil it. But
so
Dude, it was
it's
like 30 years
you
ago.
haven't seen it, and it's 15 years. Yeah, you haven't seen it though.
so yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's the one rule we won't break. Yeah.
Yeah, but training day. So
in all of these?
But it gets really. I kind of want it. No, well, most of we'll talk about because you haven't seen Training Day. I feel bad
Yeah.
spoiling it. How
No,
does it
I
end?
just said I know how it ends.
How does it end?
Oh, is this off?
Oh, let's just do it. We're gonna
Go ahead. Go
Okay.
ahead. How's
well,
it end?
first off, Ethan
Well,
Hawke
I
gets
may not
wrapped
know.
up
I don't
in
know
this
the
shit.
circumstances of how it. I know that somebody died.
You should
Yeah.
see it. Okay, so
Okay.
yeah,
That's
so
not
you
important
should
if you don't
see
know
it.
anything
Yeah.
more
But the
than that.
significance of like who kills
How it
him
happens and
how it
everything is
happens
awesome.
it's like a. I always akin it to, even though I haven't seen it. In my mind I was like, oh, it's like Lion King when Scar gets it.
A little bit, yeah.
like the hyenas.
but not as no. It's actually it's different, but it is similar where a bunch of people kind of turn on him, but it's not actually like his henchmen or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a different scenario, but it's really well paced. It's vicious. Ethan Hawke basically getting roped into and manipulated by this guy, and really one of the things that makes the movie fantastic is Denzel Washington's performance.
Yeah.
It's you can't stop watching this guy. He's like so fucking good.
Yeah.
You're scared of him. You're intimidated by him. You don't fucking know exactly what's going on with this guy, and just the way he's fucking Ethan Hawke up throughout the day. Like Ethan Hawke goes through the goddamn ringer in this day.
So he
Crazy.
like sets up Ethan Hawke so in case Ethan Hawke's like tells on him or whatever throughout the film.
He makes him smoke like crystal meth or crack or whatever in the beginning. He's like, you can't fucking come into these streets.
so he can control him basically.
Yeah.
So he said, yeah, you can go say that, but
They're gonna
I got
do
you
they're gonna
doing
do a drug
yeah,
test.
they're gonna do a
and
drug
they're gonna
test
see
and
that
they're gonna
you've
see
been
that
smoking.
Yeah, exactly. So it's
Because he
it's-
forced them basically to smoke in the beginning of the film. Ethan Hawke didn't want to do it, and he basically was like, "Get the fuck out of my car!" Then, like this whole thing, like you
Yeah.
can't be part of this if you're not willing to get in these streets because they'll fucking sniff
My
you out in a
man.
moment's notice
Yeah.
if you're not, doing it. So he gets them all, but he's just setting
It's
them
all
up.
bullshit.
It's all bullshit.
It's all bullshit. It's all a setup to keep him in control. That's
Yeah.
what this movie is. Like,
It's great.
It's about Denzel Washington controlling every aspect, everything that's around him.
Yeah.
And so it's a fucking. Now that I think about it, it's a fake buddy cop film.
Yeah,
Because
they're
obviously
not
now
buddies,
thinking they're.
no.
But he makes him think he's his buddy.
Yeah, he
at
makes
one
him
moment.
think
sort
he's
of
his
kind
buddy.
of like, hey, like you're really becoming part of this team.
Yeah.
It's really.
Yeah.
So, but it's. I tell
Buddy
you, like,
betrayal cop.
yeah,
Oh, there you
yeah,
go.
it's a buddy cop, but not friends.
Did you ever
That's
see
that
The
film.
Recruit with Al Pacino and
I
Colin
did.
Farrell?
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
about the same time period,
Yep.
and it reminds me of that in terms of like, this senior guy kind of manipulating this other guy to think
Exactly.
something else is happening when it's not that way.
Yeah,
something
it's
like that.
so I recommend. I don't know what to say about this film now because he hasn't seen it. So
Yeah,
it's
well,
kind of
that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's a good selection though.
yeah, that's a great selection.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
right,
all right, let me go to the next film, which is another basically dark film, but is I think
Darker.
It's actually
way
very much
darker.
darker. But it's one of my favorite films of all time because of how the
Really?
story was told.
It's
and
really
because how
good. I could
it's
see that.
told.
I know
It's-
you have a couple issues with it, with like Brad Pitt's performance, but it's good. All right, name
So
the
the
movie.
film, basically the film is 7.
Basically, it really
Well,
is.
it really
7.
is. Yeah,
the
it's actually
movie
is 7.
7.
Surprise!
David Fincher?
No.
David Fincher, yeah.
Yeah. So I love this film, and I love their relationship. It's
Morgan Freeman and Brad Pitt.
exactly because Morgan Freeman has this old style. Everything has to be done by the book, and things has to be correct. And then you have this fresh.
No, it's not really everything needs to be done by the book because he breaks things. He gets that FBI thing at one point. He's just old and seen it all.
Yeah, but that wasn't
and he's
technically
out.
breaking the rule.
No, it was. It was illegal. That was the whole point, and Brad Pitt fucking got really pissed off about that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
sure,
no, that was the
that's
thing.
true.
Morgan Freeman, if you really are
He's just
describe that
very
character,
old style,
He's basically about to retire, and
Yeah.
he's just seen so much evil. He's disillusioned with mankind.
Yeah, they don't
Yeah.
really. They don't say what city they're in, right? It's
No, that's
kinda
kind of the
like,
whole point.
Empire City or Gotham City or something.
It's
like
kind
that.
of the
It's
whole
like
point
a
is they never named the
fabricated-
city, so it could be anywhere really.
Yeah, and it did seem like Like literally, people were violently being murdered.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you
Fucking
know,
terrible.
It was a shit place.
And I
to
love the
live.
fact
Yeah.
that you didn't even know who was casted as the bad guy before that film hit the theater.
Yeah, they never even named.
They kept it.
He's
hidden.
not listed.
Yeah, he wasn't listed.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, they
it
didn't
was
promote
really
because you don't
fucking
see
cool.
him till towards the end of the movie.
Yeah.
You hear his
that's
voice,
true.
and then you see like a shadow of him, but you never actually see him.
Was this before or after Usual Suspects?
This was
right?
like a,
Before, I
a year or
think-
two
yeah, it was
before.
before. Yeah,
year
it
or
was
two
before.
before. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was before he was verbal kint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
the great thing about this film is
Kaiser Soze.
Sorry.
Kaiser Soze.
That's a
Kaiser-
really good buddy
Kaiser
cop
Soze.
movie.
Buddy. That's Buddy Bad Guys.
Well, the cop
That's
is
Buddy
Buddy
Bad Guy.
lineup.
Yeah, Buddy Line films.
Buddy
Yeah. So I love this film because I think how the story was told, how everything was put together, it took you to the edge of like, I don't want to see this dark shit.
Yeah.
Because it was so dark. It was
So
so
fucking
disgusting.
dark. What's in
like
the
I saw
box?
I saw the director's version of this film, and it was some crazy ass shit. It was
Yeah.
some really crazy, and I saw the making of it, and I saw how it's some really crazy shit.
Real quick, we should say
Yeah, I was
what
gonna
the movie's about.
Yeah. So the movie's about there's this criminal creating crimes from the 7 sins. So he's taking gluttony, he's taking sloth, he's taking
envy.
those and creating a crime that represents those different sins.
The 7 deadly sins
Yeah.
in murder form.
Correct.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, but it's crazy the timeline that, like, when you watch it and you see the timeline that I'm actually talking about the bad guy, the timeline that he's created all this stuff, like some stuff that like took years. Sometimes
It's brilliant.
It's fucking incredible. So they're trying to chase this guy down and figure out who he is. But the relationship between Morgan Freeman and Brad Pitt is incredible because you can see that Morgan Freeman, he understands this world.
Right.
He's trying to get out of it, but he understands how it functions. And
Right.
and the crazy thing was like every scene that he went to, he was never truly surprised
Yep.
of what he just saw.
Yeah, and Brad Pitt's trying to
But-
make a name for
and-
himself.
Yeah,
Brad
he's new to
Pitt
the
is
area. He's been
fresh.
switched to
Yeah.
homicide. He wanted the assignment, and
Yeah.
he's like a young, cocky, you know.
One of the first scenes is them two in the car, and Brad Pitt, and he's trying to figure out like why did you choose this area, and Brad Pitt starts talking about how I want to be a cop. I want to
Yeah.
get down and dirty, and he thinks he's like badass. He's got this badass attitude to it, but then you see like the whole like this whole breakdown of like Brad Pitt like never seen this shit before, and
Right.
Morgan Freeman still being like. It's like I'm not surprised. And
Yeah.
their relationship just came out so well put.
Yeah, at first it's a little bit sort of like shaky, because Brad Pitt
Yeah.
is like this guy. He doesn't want to be told what to do or mentored. Really, he's kind of like, this is the fucking way it's gonna go. He's kind of arrogant in a way. And Morgan Freeman's like, dude, you need to calm down. Like, this is not your fucking regular pony show.
It was like
here.
the first of the Ashley Judd, Morgan Freeman buddy cop films.
Kiss the Girls, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like Kiss the Girls. There was like another one that
he
they
wasn't
did
in
together. Not Double Jeopardy.
Yeah, no, it wasn't Double Jeopardy.
She was killing it with those,
Yeah,
buddy.
she
What are you
Wow.
talking about?
Ashley Judd and Morgan Freeman had done several kind of like crime
Silence
dramas.
of the Lambs?
John Grisham.
No, not Silence of the Lambs. Kiss the Girls was one of them, though.
Yeah.
But yeah. But 7, it's like it really is, but then they do form a bond. Like they do. He comes. He
does.
comes to dinner with Gwyneth Paltrow plays his Brad Pitt's wife. In
Yeah,
the movie,
exactly.
And she invites Morgan Freeman over, and they kind of bond. And you
Yeah.
can see there's some sort of like respect starting to grow, and they're starting to form this thing. It all goes to fucking shit though by the end of the movie.
Exactly. Yeah.
it's-
It's like you want to say
oh.
something, and the whole film is based on one of the main stories that's
I love
going
how you're
on
like
is the fact
still
that
affected by this ending.
this film is crazy.
Oh,
This
come
film is
on.
crazy.
No, that and let's just say like
The
if you
ending
haven't
is
seen this movie,
crazy.
that ending is crazy. So the whole film, Morgan Freeman is ready for retirement.
yeah.
And so
Last case. He didn't want the
last case. He didn't want the case. Yeah, he just wanted to be on desk duty. That's all he
Yeah.
wanted to do. But he got this case and with Brad Pitt, and they build this relationship. And then at the end, so what happens is I hate telling this.
Let's
the
spoil it.
finish,
No,
but
it's
I
fine.
have
We're
to
gonna spoil
yeah.
this.
So the last scene, they're out in the open. There were what do you call those? Big fan
Windmills or
windmills
whatever, or
that,
something like that. Yeah.
So, so they meet up. They take him out there to
Kevin
solve the last
Spacey.
Kevin Spacey to solve the last crime.
I thought they were just
And-
power lines.
Power lines.
The
Yeah.
power lines
I feel like there were
with
windmills,
on the
too.
road, but there was the big windmills. And so Kevin Spacey is explaining the last sin Morgan Freeman where there's a guy delivering this box, and so
The last sin is wrath.
yeah, it's the last sin is wrath. So then he holds Morgan Freeman explaining this to him. No, I'm sorry. He holds Brad Pitt explaining this to him, and as Morgan Freeman goes and gets the box, and then what's fucking Kevin Spacey? You know, says
Because
I'm
he's
talking
alone with him.
Yeah. So,
So he
then
starts
Kevin
to, like,
Spacey just fucking lashes out, saying, "I'm talking about your wife."
No, he doesn't say that.
Yeah, he does.
No.
Yes, he does.
No, he doesn't. He
Yes,
does
he-
nothing
what does he
about the
say?
wife. No, he doesn't say anything about I'm talking about your wife. That's the whole thing.
He
like-
starts explaining how he spent time with his wife. Please look it up.
Oh yeah, he does mention her, the wife. He doesn't
makes
yell.
him-
He doesn't yell.
but it-
I'm
which
talking about
makes
your
him
wife.
think-
Yeah, it makes him
Yeah.
think.
And
Yeah.
no, he
does.
does. He goes, "I'm talking about your wife," and he starts explaining.
He doesn't say that, but I get what
He
you're
d-
saying. You said he
fucking
lashes
look it
out.
up. Look it
He
up.
does
Look,
mention
here's the
her. He
thing.
does
This is
mention
gonna
her.
go on social media because he did fucking say that. So this is gonna go on social media. I'm proving him wrong right here. So, yeah, put it on social media. So
I'm giving you the side eye.
you could give me a side eye. Look it up if you want
He
to.
does mention the wife. He does mention her, and that's how he knows. He's like, what the fuck did you
Exactly.
say?
That's what I just fucking said.
Yeah.
You
what-
just said he lashed
Well,
out and
let's-
said, I'm talking about your wife. He doesn't yell.
All right.
Yes, and he's talking about how he spent.
I need to mediate this.
No,
Neil.
no, it's fine. It's fine.
And he's talking
But
about how he
basically,
spent.
yeah.
Yeah.
The point is that he's antagonizing Brad Pitt's character
Yes.
while
Exactly.
Morgan Freeman is
He's
not
stopping
there
down-
to keep him
Okay,
under control.
Basically, they're in the middle of the desert. There's a delivery van coming, and Morgan Freeman goes to flag it down, find out what the fuck they're delivering, while Brad Pitt holds a gun
Stays.
on
Exactly.
Kevin Spacey out in the
Brad
desert.
Pitt's a wild card. He can't be trusted.
Yes.
So, yeah, so Kevin Spacey's agitating Brad Pitt
yeah.
to basically create wrath, the last sin.
Yeah.
So he starts speaking about his wife, lashed out, and starts
Your choice of words.
talk about
throw
how
me off.
Mr. That's calls rape and calls all this other shit. Anyway, he starts talking about how. Are you looking at the script?
Yeah, I'm reading the
Oh, this
script.
is
I'm literally
incredible.
reading the script. There is a thing about the wife. I know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Maybe you're right. Let me see.
Because that's when he
Wait,
just...
don't
Hold
say
on,
anything
I'm not
right
done
now.
yet. I'm not done yet. No, you guys keep talking while I pull up the scene.
So then, when Morgan Freeman opens up the box,
he sees what's in it, and he's like, oh, shit.
oh
He
shit,
figured it out.
He
because
figured
he's
it out.
calm. He's been
He's
in this
calm-
shit before.
exactly.
He's dealt with psychos before. He's
And
like,
he's
oh, man, this
running
is
back
bad.
to Brad Pitt to try to tell him, put it,
He's like, put the
stop,
gun down.
Put the gun down. And he's yelling. And
He's
then
like, what's in the box?
he's like, what's in the box? Come on. What's in the box?
Yeah,
He's
Brad
just going
Pitt
Brad-
overacts his ass off.
No,
Yeah,
man,
it's
that
really-
was a great scene. He did very well.
no, he's great. You have a fucking thing out for Brad
I
Pitt in that movie. I
don't.
think
I
he's
don't.
great in
You
that.
know
He
what it
plays
is?
the character he's
It's
supposed
young
to play.
Brad Pitt, I
Yeah,
felt like
he
was
said-
just like
and he
really
says-
trying to prove something
Yeah,
as an
and
actor,
then-
and I feel like he's become calmer.
I think he was
Kevin
great. 12
Spacey
Monkeys,
says where he
great in
lashed
that.
out.
Same time
He
period.
said-
Same time period.
He says,
Yeah.
read the script, Nick. I'm talking about your wife. Read the script, Nick.
Let me
Read the
see.
script.
Let me see.
Read the
Let me
fucking
see. Let me
script,
see. Let
Nick.
me see. If you're right, then I'll admit it. I'm always willing to admit it. But let's see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now we'll just
No, this is what he says. Thank you. This is exactly what I thought
What
he
is-
said. That he mentions her name in passing. He goes like this. He goes, what? He goes, I wish I could have lived like you. Shut up. The fuck you talking about? He goes, do you hear me, detective? I'm trying to tell you how much I admire you and your pretty wife. He goes, what?
Exactly. That's the lash out right there. How he
No.
said it in the film. He said,
And your pretty wife. He goes,
pretty
what? He goes,
wife.
Tracy. He goes, what you fucking
Exactly.
say?
That moment right there, they took 5 seconds of still, like nothing happened, and then he said, what?
Yeah.
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 Yes. Exactly. That's what I was
Then he
saying.
lashed out. I'm talking about your wife. I'm like, you
Yeah, he's like,
that.
and your pretty wife. I'm talking about your wife. It's the same thing,
It's
dude.
not the same
All right,
thing.
they're not the same, but they're
Thank-
similar enough.
That's all I was saying. Wow, that we
I
spent
can't
way
believe
too
we
much
just
time.
sidetracked. We now have to end the podcast because you guys had to argue about, semantics.
So, but
Anyways, the thing is,
And
and
the
then,
thing is-
then he gets the delivery box. Wow, we are not doing this fucking justice at all. He
We're-
gets the
we're not-
delivery
we're
box.
not.
no,
You know what makes this hard?
Let me
This
speed through it for
movie.
you real quick on this. He
I
gets
just
the
did that.
box. No, he gets
While
the
you're
box.
reading. I just
Oh,
did that.
Did you? I wasn't
Yeah.
listening to you.
no shit.
See,
sir,
he
like-
opens the box,
And it's-
you don't see what it is at first. He goes, "Oh
Nope.
God!" He goes, "What's in the box? What's in the box?" And then he finds out it's the fucking
Yeah.
severed head of his wife.
Exactly.
Jesus Christ.
Gwyneth
But the whole
Paltrow
end-
is
but yeah,
very
yeah.
pretty.
But the
Very
whole end,
sweet, and it was just—it's terrible.
yeah. But the whole end
And then
to
he
that
shoots
film,
and kills.
But they don't. Do they show her head?
They do in the director's cut.
there you go.
On the version I saw, I don't think they actually
Yeah,
showed.
no.
They just opened the box and it was implied. Like,
No, he says something about when I
They
cut off her
they
head,
open
he
the
mentions
box.
it, Yeah.
Morgan Freeman opens the box and then he jumps back and he looks at Brad Pitt and he starts running back. That's what happens.
Yeah, because he knows he's going to kill him.
Yeah, and so the director's cut, you see what's in the box and you see what's going on. So it's basically you're
Fucking
acknowledging.
terrible.
Yeah, and so, but the whole
And he shoots and kills him. It's wrath.
it's one of those movies where you feel bad at the end of
You
it.
really do.
You don't feel good.
And it
It's
pretty
not
much
feel
ends like
good.
shortly, like right after that.
no, but the thing is, like at the end of that film, this whole film part of the story was that Morgan Freeman was going to retire, but then he says that he'll be around at the end of the film because he's not. They built a great relationship between him and Brad Pitt, and that he wasn't going to retire.
Yeah, and Brad Pitt was going to like a mental institution
Yeah,
or something.
You don't know where he's going.
We don't know
They're just
where
like, we'll
he's
take
going,
care of
yeah.
him. We'll take
Yeah.
care of him. Yeah, because he's fucking lost it. Like that.
Exactly.
That's so
Yeah.
fucking terrible.
Yeah, and then Morgan Freeman, states that he'll be around. Obviously you're seeing that he's going to be around to make sure that Brad Pitt's okay. So talking about this film, what made it difficult is like it's really like not. It's a buddy cop film, but you never want to say that that's the category that you want to put it in.
Well, people associate buddy cop with comedies and stuff.
Exactly,
and you're right.
so-
but there are a lot of films that are.
Well, thank God our next few, after that, we don't have any
Yeah.
other dark films on our lists.
Wait, I got one more.
Yeah. I'm saying your next one is light, so let's go on to that one.
Just as a side note, the other Ashley Judd Morgan Freeman film was High Crimes,
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
and it was mainly, I think her and what's his name did a bunch of films together.
Morgan Freeman,
No, what the fuck is Double Jeopardy guy?
Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy
Lee Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did a couple.
Yeah.
So my last film, I'm gonna end it on a good note.
Yeah,
after
let's end it
that.
up on a light note,
Yeah.
like something that
Yeah.
feels a
Let's-
lot better.
Let's change the podcast
I don't
up a
forget what
little
your
bit.
last one was.
It's Demolition Man.
Oh,
Demolition
Man. Yeah. and
You
Wesley
you
Snipes.
really licked his ass. It's kicked his ass.
That's a great movie. Dennis Leary is in
Dennis
that movie.
Leary.
Edgar
There's a
Friendly.
lot. Yeah, there's a lot of great people.
He
in this
plays
film.
Edgar Friendly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you have
They use the
Simon
same
Phoenix
sets.
as
Yeah.
Wesley Snipes.
They use the same sets for those sewer scenes as they did in Super
Mario
Mario
Brothers.
Brothers.
Seems like
I'm
it, right?
telling you, it's the same
I bet
set.
if you looked it up, you'd
They're
find
eating
out.
rat burgers and
Yeah.
shit. Anyway.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Right?
No,
Right?
That's all I remember is the rat
Pretty good.
burgers and the seashells and then
The
the,
three
weird
seashells,
the
yeah.
weird sex machines that they would attach to their heads.
that
Yes.
was hilarious. The whole scene.
The
He was
hokey
he's
pokey, you know.
Yeah.
Sex.
She's like, gross. We don't touch each other.
Ew,
Exchange
no.
of bodily fluids?
Wasn't it like 10 years from now or something? Or is it like right now is when it took place? What was the time period of that?
The movie begins in 1996.
It's like
which was
2018.
3 years after it because the movie came out in 93 and the beginning of the movie starts in 96 and then he's in for what is it 47 years
Oh, so it's like
years
it's pretty far. It's like another 20 years from now.
yeah it's something like that
Yeah,
because
it's something like that,
because
yeah.
his wife his wife was dead so it was a good chunk of time later.
Yeah.
Right?
Because he was
Okay.
on cryo freeze.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. Anyway, so the
It seemed
thing
like
is
everything got good in the world
Yeah.
when they were taken out of it.
That's right, pretty much. John Spartan. So what happens is he gets cryogenically frozen in the beginning
Because he's a renegade cop and he got blamed for a crime, basically a situation
up by
gone
Wesley
set up-
Snipes' character.
Situation gone wrong. Basically, he thought that he killed a bunch of kids in the school because the school blew up, but that
he was
actually
told the
never
school
happened.
was evacuated.
Yeah.
And that there was nobody in the place.
I think the end though, you find out that he did not kill anyone.
They were all dead anyways.
Yeah, they were all dead.
Yeah,
That's
they
right,
basically
exactly.
goes in. His place blows up. He doesn't save any of these kids or whatever. All these people were dead, and
Exactly.
the place was set on fire. And well, they think that he did it.
Yeah.
like that's what because they listen to Wesley Snipes' character Simon Phoenix going, I told him not to do it. He did it anyway. They believe this fucking criminal psycho. Anyway, so they think that he killed and like allowed this place to blow up without saving these kids. You find out later the kids were already dead anyways before the place blew up.
Yeah. So basically because he's like this edgy cop.
Yeah.
So they think because his
Loose cannon.
decision being a loose cannon, the kids die. But then anyway, he goes into cryo freeze. He wakes up later on.
And
because,
they both go into cryo freeze.
Yeah, they both go into cryo
Him and
freeze.
Simon.
Yeah, and then later on, Simon gets woken up, and then they don't know how to deal with.
He kills a
with
bunch
it.
of people. He
Yeah.
escapes, so they bring out.
Which like killing hasn't happened in years.
Yeah, and
like
murder, death, kill.
Yeah,
murder,
the
death,
only-
kill. And they're like, what the fuck is that?
there's been so many fucking war. There was like a restaurant war, which Taco Bell was the
franchise.
only one that
The
survived.
franchise wars.
Franchise war.
All
and
people eat is Taco Bell.
I'd like,
All
I'd
people-
like
yeah.
you to join me tonight at Taco Bell.
Taco Bell.
Taco Bell.
And then he thinks
was
like he's
great.
going
It
to a
was very
regular
great.
Taco Bell. He's excited, but then it's just like this fancy place
Yeah, it's
now.
like a high-end
Yeah.
sushi place.
You get 3 chips on a plate. Like, what the
Yeah.
fuck? Yeah.
So they wake him up in order to basically capture Simon Phoenix because they don't know how to deal with it because everybody's been pussified.
Exactly.
It's like they've gone through so many problems and now there's no murder, death, kills. There's no
There's
cops.
nothing- yeah,
Cops don't know how to
everything's
deal
so
with
controlled,
violence.
yeah.
There's no violence.
There's no violence. There's no, and because Simon is bringing back this like violence, kills and stuff. They don't know how to deal with, so they have to bring back Sylvester Stallone. But this movie is like the relationship is between him and Sandra Bullock.
Yes.
Which she is like of this new world, and he's of the old world where all this shit has.
But she's
happened.
obsessed with the old pop culture
But
from
she's
the 80s
exactly,
and the 90s.
yeah. So it's like the scenes are incredible. Like when he can't figure out how to have toilet paper, he's like, you can't even cuss in this film, or else there's like a warning that comes up, and
Yeah,
you
it's
get
great. Oh,
and
there's
so
you get a
lot of
citation.
cursing,
you get a
but,
citation. So like
You have been fined
John
one
Spartan,
credit.
which is played by Sylvester Stallone, he can find toilet paper, so then he's like cussing up a storm to get like these
get
little
paper
sheets
to
so
wipe
he
it.
can have
Well,
toilet
because there was
papers.
3 seashells and
Yeah.
he didn't know how to use the seashells.
They
to
never
wipe his
explained
butt.
this.
And they
don't
never explained
He's
it.
like, he doesn't know how to
They-
use the 3 seashells.
What's-
We still don't know how.
I
I think
think
it's a
interesting
scooping. I
is-
guess it's a scooping motion. I don't really know.
That wouldn't make sense though in the time period because things are clean.
I know.
So scooping with
I don't know what they do.
I think the assumption is that you scoop.
Yeah, but like that's not
It
very
is, but
clean.
then
There's
That's
like
how
a
to
get
get
the
the
remnants.
bidet. Well, maybe to get like the chunks, and then the bidet like blast you or something.
If there's a bidet,
yeah,
that makes sense.
I would think there would be a bidet.
Yeah, I would hope.
In
there's
Europe, that's all they have are bidet. I don't
Then
think
what's
they
the
but this is
seashells
San
for?
Angeles. This is like an amalgamation of like Los Angeles and whatever.
You know, the
else.
guy
San
that directed
Angeles.
it, this was his only film.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I actually don't know who directed this.
It's like
That's
this-
surprising because it was a really good film.
This guy Marco
Brambilla.
Brambilla. It's the only movie he made. Apparently,
Brambilla.
Yeah, this is.
he did like music videos and stuff. It's
Oh,
only
that's so funny because I really enjoyed this movie. I figured they would have given him more after this. I
Maybe he
love
didn't want
Demolition,
it, yeah.
and it's fun. It's light. I mean, there's heavy scenes in it. There's dark, whatever scenes, but
Yeah.
Wesley Snipes is great as Simon Phoenix, the
Yeah.
bad guy. And then you also find out they were given handicaps, or Simon Phoenix had. You get programmed when you're in cryogenic freezing. You get programmed for certain things to basically make you a little bit light. Like if you're a hardened criminal,
Yeah.
they do things to reprogram you to be lighter in nature. So
Exactly, yeah.
So
You get pain if
Sylvester
you try
Stallone
to-
was
yeah.
programmed to like want to knit
Knit.
and knit sweaters and stuff like that,
Crochet.
and crochet and
He
all
did a
that.
great job,
but
too.
but then somebody fucked with Simon Phoenix's stuff and made him a fucking
Killer.
killer.
Like martial
they made him
arts,
martial arts and
all
like
those things.
weaponry and a knowledge of all the weapons in the future, where to get them and everything. He has it all programmed into his head.
He basically was unleashed to stop the
Rebellion
So
that's
there's the
underneath.
rebellion, which is like living in the sewers, they eat rats and all that stuff, from
burger.
doing an uprise.
burger.
Yeah, from doing an uprise. So I still remember that scene when Sylvester Stallone eats the rat burger, and he's like, "It's actually kind of good."
I got some.
Yeah,
ketchup
I
or
actually
whatever.
want a rat
I
burger.
wanted
He
after
makes
his
it look
reaction.
appetizing.
His
Exactly.
reaction made me want to try rat burger.
Yeah, it looks like a
Exactly.
good burger.
Yeah.
Oh, rat
So this
burgers.
film is a good buddy cop film because Sandra, like we're doing all this conversation, we're not really talking about Sandra Bullock and Sylvester
Yes,
Stallone.
they're you know, the dynamic of them together. Is
Yeah,
great,
but
actually.
their dynamic
She's
is
very
really
like
great. Yeah,
living in
Yeah.
her world, and he's like the old world. And
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then there's
Yeah.
a sexual tension between them.
there is, which
They have sex virtually.
virtually.
Well,
yeah,
they
which that was
start,
very-
and then he's like, "What the hell's this?" And she's like, "No, put him back on."
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he kisses her at the end. I'm just saying, there's a thing.
yeah,
They
there's a
don't
thing,
swap bodily fluids until the end.
Until
now.
the end.
Yeah, so it was a great film. I wish they did it like a part 2 or something.
Wasn't,
I don't know what they would-
Deuce Bigelow in that?
Yeah, Rob
Yeah.
Schneider.
Rob
He's the one that
Schneider.
goes, he doesn't know how to use the 3 seashells.
Right.
yeah, he's in there. Yeah, who else is in there?
Benjamin Bratt. is in
Benjamin
that.
Yeah,
Bratt's
Benjamin
in it,
Bratt's
yeah.
in there.
A bunch of face actors, like what's his face from Ace Ventura, the one who got thrown off the balcony. He's in that.
Thrown off the balcony?
You know, what's his face? In Ace Ventura, he's the fatter. He's like the manager, like some sort of coach or whatever for the Dolphins.
Oh, Nigel Hawthorne is in there.
Yeah, but yes, he is. But you know what I'm talking about? Like that scene where Ace Ventura's doing the
Yeah.
of the balcony. He's talking about that murder, the guy who was murdered.
Andrew Gregory?
The fucking guy, he's
I
the
don't
round
remember.
guy, the roly-poly guy.
He's not coming up.
Come on.
You know Jack Black was in Demolition Man as a
He's one of the-
Wasteland
the-
scrap number 2.
Yeah, he's one of the scrappy whatever guys. Yeah, one of the Edgar Friendly.
This is like when I saw God, who the hell was it? Keenan Ivory Wayne's in like the third episode of Cheers as like an extra. That was so random.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In what
we
movie?
talked about this. Keenan Ivory Wayne's.
In what movie?
And Cheers.
Oh, that's right. You said
He was
that.
like
yeah.
an extra, like in one of the, he was sitting in one of the booths or whatever, and Shelley Long came over and served him some liquor.
Yeah. Troy Evans. That's the guy. Look up
Okay.
Troy Evans. You'll see he was under Siege.
So
Ace
that was-
Ventura. Look, he was
I
that
feel
guy
like-
in Ace Ventura.
Oh yeah, he was in that. Yeah,
And he's
okay.
in, anyways.
Oh yeah, he played a tough cop
Where? In
in
what?
this film.
No.
Yeah, he was a.
He played like one of the sergeant guys or whatever.
Yeah.
He wasn't a tough. Oh, they actually have him listed as tough cop.
Yeah.
That's so funny. That's weird. They didn't give him a name.
Yeah, I was thinking.
I think you get.
That's
less
why when I
money
said
if
it, I
you-
was like,
if you
why
get
is it-
generic? name.
It's really interesting because he wasn't technically a tough cop.
He
was,
wasn't
like,
at
more-
all.
Yeah.
He was just an older,
But he remembered. He was old enough to
Yes.
remember
Yeah.
John Spartan.
That's
and-
right.
And there was like that dynamic was there. Like there was the young generation. It was like
Yeah.
pansies, and then the
Yeah.
older generation was like, I remember we used to have serial killers.
Yeah,
It
well,
was
it was
crazy.
that helicopter pilot from the beginning of the movie that dropped John Spartan into, and then he was an older man.
Yeah.
In the future, and he remembered John Spartan. He's the one who brought up his name. He's like, "There's only one." At the end, it all came down to one man. Only one man could catch Simon Phoenix.
Yeah.
His
Yeah.
name was John Spartan.
Did they even say the
And
name,
they're
or
like,
did they switch
what you
to
talking
John
about,
Spartan?
old timer?
No, they said it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
You should definitely check it out. It's a good buddy.
Yeah, it's a good buddy
flick
cop flick.
with.
I
Yeah.
love that.
It's
Yeah.
really good.
dynamic between
Yeah.
the
So-
two. Yeah.
All right, good. So
I feel like I really didn't sell my list today. I don't know why.
it's
No,
'cause
you
we got
did.
stuck
I think
on
I
the
had an
7.
awkward list. I think
That's
I had
that
a
was
really
a
had a dark
podcast
list.
in itself.
I know you had a dark list though. It was kind of you sold them. They're good movies.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. I tried.
Wow.
I just
The insecurities
Oh, no,
come
no.
out.
Yeah, dude.
Oh no, it's
Training
all right,
Day.
man. You'll do better next time.
Training Day.
thanks, man.
What are the films?
7. You don't
Training
even
Day
remember
7 and-
Demolition Man.
No, I
Demolition
just
Man.
wanted Diego to say it because of his films. No, I'm not. I'm serious.
You really feel bad for
I
him.
was gonna say.
You really feel bad for
Thanks
him.
for the support, guys.
Dude, there you
All
go.
right.
All right, what's the next one?
Okay, good. All right. First one on my list. I love this movie. We debated
Just
earlier.
hit us with all three, and then we'll move on to me.
Okay. Well, mine's the best, so why would I just
Yeah, 'cause
gloss
it's
over
fucking-
mine?
Well, I mean, I think
That's
mine
probably
might
why I'm
be.
off because you stole that shit.
I didn't steal shit.
That's why I'm.
You
off.
did not. You. All right. Beverly Hills
we
Cop.
all have good movies.
Beverly Hills Cop. First one.
What a coinky
Love
dink.
Beverly Hills Cop. The first one.
And who's
I
in that?
Okay, so it's Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
We have Judge Reinhold in that.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Ronnie Cox, from Total Recall. He's in
Well,
it.
who's his buddy?
It's Taggart and Billy Rosewood. Rosewood and Taggart. Those are the cops. He comes to Beverly Hills, and at first there's a contentious relationship between them, but then they become buddy cops. In fact, so much so in the second movie, they're like really good friends, and they go fishing together every year. And so I love the second one as well. It's the first two. I love both of them.
Yeah.
But if I'm just gonna pick one, I'll go with the first one, which was directed by Martin Brest, who also did Scent of a Woman.
Okay.
Yeah. So he did the first Beverly Hills Cop film, and this was the movie that really launched Eddie Murphy into superstardom.
Yeah.
He'd done
Yeah.
48 Hours before this. He did Trading Places. He was in Saturday Night Live, but this was the first movie where it was like top billing. Eddie Murphy is the man.
Right.
And he basically plays a Detroit cop who his friend he used to run around the streets with and boost cars comes to Detroit, and he finds out he was a security guard at an art gallery in Beverly Hills. He stole some things that he wasn't supposed to steal. Came to Detroit, and then he gets killed. Basically in front of Eddie Murphy's character Axel Foley. Axel Foley gets knocked out, and then
That's not bad.
I love that. Anyway, so he basically gets
That's
killed.
what that's from. Beverly Hills Cop.
That's right. So Axel Foley, Eddie Murphy gets knocked out, and then his friend gets killed in front of him while he's knocked out, and so he decides to take some time off from work, quote unquote, and then go out to Beverly Hills to investigate the murder of his friend Mikey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where everything goes to shit. I mean, there's the big bad guy who runs an art gallery, Victor Maitland, and he's involved in fucking drugs smuggling and selling and shit like that. He's a big bad guy. You know, he lives in the big mansion with the henchmen with the machine guns. This is that kind of 80s bad guy. But he
If you're
links
selling drugs, that's what you do. You have henchmen. You know,
That's right, but this is a
isolated
street
life.
cop from fucking Detroit, and this is 1980s Detroit. You know, this is like
It was probably
not
still
that there's-
hard back then.
It's still harsh now, but back then it was really fucking like hardcore
Yeah.
Detroit, and he's coming to nice Beverly Hills, you know? So
Oh,
there's
yeah.
there's a scene where he goes into Victor Maitland's office and he basically ends up getting dragged out by security and thrown through a fucking window. And he gets up and he gets arrested by the Beverly Hills police.
Right.
He gets picked up and he's like, what? I'm getting arrested. I got going through a fucking window.
Yeah.
He goes, what's the charge? He goes, disturbing the peace. He's like, what? For getting thrown through a window? What's the charge for the charge for getting hit by a car? Jaywalking? And then he gets put in the back of the car and they're driving to the police. He goes, man, this is the best. I've never been in a police car this nice. This is nicer than my apartment. Like everything's crystal clean, nice. The police department, everybody's very, good manners. They're like everything's by the book, and he's breaking all that shit. Yeah. And he ends up hooking up with Rosewood and Taggart, Billy Rosewood and Taggart, which are these two police officers. They're partners, but he ends up linking up with them. Yeah. And they start solving the shit together. Kind of. Yeah. It's really good. It's a great film.
Wasn't there like a whole different path that this film was going to take with a different actor, and then Eddie Murphy got signed to it and saved it or something?
Yeah. So we actually
rewrote whole.
I think we talked about this before. This movie was supposed to be a Sylvester Stallone movie. It was a Sylvester Stallone vehicle. It was not going to be a comedy. It was going to be a cop film, like a hardcore cop film. And Sylvester Stallone wrote a lot of it and was working on it. And he ended. I don't remember why, but he ended up falling out. And originally the character. In the movie, no, it wasn't Rocky. But that character in the movie, that's like his friend from back in the day that works at the art gallery in Beverly Hills Cop. She's, the blonde lady, the pretty blonde girl, and she's his friend.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Nikki or whatever, I forget her name. Yeah. But she was originally supposed to be the love interest for Sylvester Stallone. But apparently this is 1984, and once they cast a black guy, they couldn't have her as a love interest anymore.
Why?
1984.
Oh, really?
I know, that's really...
That was the thing?
So they switched her to become a friend. But she was supposed to be a love interest for Sylvester
No one's seen
Stallone.
Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? Or what's that movie?
Jenny Summer?
I just watched that 2 days ago.
That's a good movie.
I had never seen
Have you guys
the original.
seen
That's a really
the
good movie.
original one?
Yeah, that's what I just watched 2 days ago.
They did
I
a
love
remake?
that film.
Yeah, Guess Who with Bernie Mac and Ashton Kutcher.
Ashton Kutcher, yeah.
Guess Who? It was a remake of that. But anyway, so yeah, that's what happened. Is she was supposed to be the love interest, and then she ended up getting repurposed as the friend, which is strange. But yeah, and he went off, and he then took a lot of the stuff he'd worked on for that script and made the movie Cobra with those ideas.
All
so
right.
Cobra is actually kind of was originally how Beverly Hills Cop was supposed to be. So they ended up.
Bronson Pinchot's in it?
Are you? Yes, he's Serge. He goes,
I haven't
Serge.
seen it
He
since
goes,
I
"It's
was like 5 years
Serge."
old.
He's like, it's Serge,
Serge.
not Surge. He goes, Serge sounds like a laundry detergent. But he's the gay foreign like falcon
so
type.
good.
In
He's
the
so
art guy,
good.
he's really
Gun
good.
dealer.
He
Perfect
goes-
Strangers.
Yeah, he's the
dealer.
one. He goes, you want a you want an
fashionable.
espresso? I make it back myself. It's good. You should try it.
Yeah. He was in oh god, what's that movie?
He was in Risky Business.
No, the Christian Slater and Patricia Arquette.
Oh, True Romance.
True Romance.
Was he
yeah.
in that?
Yeah, wasn't he in that? He was
I
like
remember.
was on a cocaine driving
I
the.
can see that. I love Bronson Pinchot. He was in Perfect Strangers.
Yeah.
The show.
That's what I said. I said that earlier.
Yeah, but nobody was listening. So I'm just
I love his
repeating
gun
it.
display.
Trucker.
Yes, that's the
I think
third
that's the
one.
third
That's the
one,
third
yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Achwell Foley.
I remember that.
You know,
it's been
I
so
find it.
long.
Oh no,
He
you know,
lives in
he
he lives
goes-
in New York. We should go try and find
We
him.
should.
Get him on the show.
I tried actually. Straight up, I reached out. to
Oh,
Bronson
did
Pinchot. I'm
you?
not even kidding. I reached out to Bronson
Oh,
Pinchot.
that'd be cool.
But he does that. And the third one, it's the one where he goes. He talks to Billy. He goes, "That espresso that I made you was the last one I
Yeah.
made you because I find out it's stein your teeth. Your teeth it gets steined from the espresso." His accent is like, what is that shit? Anyways,
was in True
he
Romance.
actually was so good in Beverly Hills Cop in the original one. He would riff and improvise that whole character.
Yeah.
And that so much so that when he read for it and then he was going to turn it down, Martin Brest, the director, fell to his knees and was like, "Please be in my movie." And then the scene that he's in, the couple scenes he's in with Eddie Murphy, literally, like, he's the funny guy throughout the whole film, but he gives Bronson Pinchot the stage.
Yeah.
And he plays the straight man to Bronson's wacky character.
Yeah, yeah.
And so much that you could see him trying not to laugh. Like, he actually is having to stifle his own laughter because Bronson is so funny.
There it is.
Yeah. Well, anyways, I love that movie. The second one I actually love as much as the first one, honestly. The second one was directed by Tony Scott, who did Top Gun, True Romance. He directed the second one, which is very stylistically different than the first one. It was done 3 years later, but it brings back the same characters. The Inspector Todd from Paul Reiser comes back as his cop friend in Detroit. You have Taggart and Rosewood come back. Lieutenant Bogomil comes back. And the second one's great.
Yeah.
That's the one with the gun dealer. and, you know, Brigitte Nielsen, which was Sylvester Stallone's
Oh, yeah,
wife
yeah,
at the
yeah,
time,
yeah.
the tall blonde. Anyways, I love the second one as well. It's as good as the first one, I
Yeah,
would say.
yeah.
Yep. So there you go.
Well, you still have 2 more films, and then I have 3 films.
No, we're gonna end it there.
Oh,
We're
is
good. We're
that-
good. We're gonna end it on the best one. No. Okay, next one. Now this film is one of my favorites. It never gets old. I will watch this film over and over, which is Bad Boys.
What you gonna
Oh,
do? What you gonna
I
do?
didn't think you were
when
gonna
it
say
comes
that.
for
Yeah,
you?
no, Bad Boys.
Pretend
I like it.
Really, I think you need to watch it again. When was the last time you saw this movie?
It has been a while.
It holds up. I'm telling you.
I've seen
watched
Bad Boys 2 more recently. I think.
What?
Bad Boys 2 is good, but it's
Tell
nowhere
us
close to the
something,
first one, though.
Joe.
The first one is the best. The first one is absolutely the best. And it literally, from the opening scene, this is Michael Bay's, I think it was his first film. And it literally starts off with them just driving and just riffing on each other in the car.
Yeah.
And it's this great, and then they get stuck up. These guys come out behind them and like
Yeah.
fucking while they're parked, while they're stopped, and they put guns in, and they're trying to fucking jack them for their car, and they
They're-
end up knocking them out and taking the guns on. They're like, "Passenger 57, Wesley Snipes, bitch."
There's something about watching a film where you have a stand-up comedian,
Yeah.
and then you have like a comedic actor,
Yeah.
who's never done stand-up comedy
Right,
but can
Will
be
Smith and
very
Martin
funny.
Lawrence, yeah.
I mean, and there are a lot of actors like that you see in comedies that have never done stand-up,
Yep.
never will do stand-up, but you would think that they would be trained in that field with
Yeah.
their comedic timing and all that.
Right.
But no.
Yeah, it's a whole different thing. But
Yeah.
that movie, like literally what makes that movie, the movie's dark. It actually
Yeah.
is a very dark movie, even in the cinematography and
That
like,
Tia
the thing, the
Leone,
mate,
though.
Tia Leone,
That's
the
Tia
hottest
Leone.
she's ever been is in
Oh
that
my
movie.
God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But that movie, the villain, the French villain in that movie,
Yeah.
he's great in it, and there's
Better
a lot
villain
of
than in the second film. The second
absolutely
film was
100%,
yeah.
100%.
I don't
But
even remember the villain in the second film.
It was that Spanish guy in
The
yeah,
the
that's
drug
right,
guy
that's right.
with all the rats. Remember the
all
rats?
the
were-
rats. Yeah,
were
the rats fucking. Oh shit! It is. I enjoy the second one. I do, but the first one is a class unto itself. But the thing that works about that first film, it is the chemistry between Will Smith and Martin
Oh, it
Lawrence.
is,
They're
yeah.
so good. It really
Yeah.
is like the ultimate buddy cop.
Yeah.
Like they're so good together. And Martin Lawrence plays the high-strung family man, and Will Smith is like his. He has a lot of
Swagger.
money. He has a lot of money. His parents died, and he has a lot of money. And he's
Yeah,
swagger.
he's a
He drives a
single-
really nice car.
he's a
single
single
playboy
ladies'
type.
man.
Playboy
Yeah.
type. But he is a cop. He's hardcore about
Yeah.
being a cop. But he's also a rich guy. And just the whole plot, the way it goes down, where Tia Leone, who's the witness to this drug kingpin kind of guy, whatever he is, the main bad guy. She's the witness, and they're trying to protect her. But she only will trust Mike Lowry, which is Will Smith's
Yeah.
character. So,
Mike
but he's not there at the
Lowry's-
time, and she's gonna go into the wind. So Martin Lawrence pretends to be Mike Lowry, and she thinks he's Mike Lowry throughout the whole fucking film.
Yeah, this is Mike Lowry.
Mike Lowry.
Mike
I'm
Lowry.
Mike Lowry. Yeah, no, it really is.
The funniest scene was when his wife goes to Will
Oh,
Smith's
when he's looking at
apartment
the
and
album.
he gets car. Nah, this is my. I can't do this shit no more.
Right,
And
it's- It is good. And then Mike Lowry, Will Smith's character, has to stay and pretend to be Martin Lawrence.
Yeah,
So he has
yeah.
to stay with the family. So Martin Lawrence calls up, and Will Smith and Gina, or whatever her name is, they're looking in the photo album, and she's like, "No, don't do that. Put it back in. Come on."
Yeah.
He's like taking the photo out. He thinks she's talking about his dick. He's like, "Put it back in." He fucking loses
Yeah.
his shit. Anyways, that movie is great. There's a lot of comedic moments. There's darker moments.
Yeah.
Joey Pants plays the chief of police or the captain.
yeah.
Joey Pantoliano.
He was there on the. He was the one that forced him to be Mike Lowry.
That's right, he
Yeah,
did.
because he was sitting there. I was like, I can't.
That's right.
Dude, it's like this is Mike Lowry.
Yeah, that's right.
This film definitely set the stage for a lot of Michael Bay films that have a similar sense of humor, the the explosions,
And it worked in the
intense
90s.
action and
Yeah,
all that.
yeah.
It still works now.
It worked. There's a lot of high octane
I didn't
action
realize
in it.
for
but
some
does a
reason I
lot
had
of-
this idea he didn't direct all of the Transformers films, and he directed
all of them,
all
every
5
single
of them.
one. Yeah,
That's
every
crazy.
single one.
I had this idea that other directors came on, he was doing other projects, and I never looked or paid attention.
He loves
to
his
the director.
Transformers.
Yeah, he certainly does.
He
my
like
God.
literally like in this.
a lot of money in that. He found a franchise. I'm
Yeah.
like, you milk it, like you're set up for life, and your grandkids are set up, and like I get it. I get it. You know.
Wow.
It's
And people do go and watch them. Like
Yeah.
it makes a lot of money, so it's not like
I mean, the other fun spectacle movies, you know?
Yeah. But
No
Bad
Shia
Boys.
LaBeouf anymore, though.
Sure.
So.
Yeah.
But Bad Boys, that movie holds up. I would say that's one of his best, if not his best film. Honestly, The Rock I thought was also really good.
Yeah.
But Bad Boys is really solid. I watched it as recent as a few months ago, and I'm like, this movie still fucking holds up.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
So that's my
good film.
my second choice. Okay, my last one, and this one is oh man, I love this film.
What's another one you stole from me?
I just called it first. There's a thing called dibs. Jesus.
Yeah, but people gotta know that dibs is going on to be dibbed.
I said I want these films. That's dibs. Like if I say it first, like Neil, you got my back on this. I know I did it in a shitty way.
There's-
I was
you
not,
know what it is?
I did it in a mean spirited way, but I did name them.
But I like all the movies that have been named so far, and I know that there's so many other films out there. So
yeah, well,
like each of our lists may not like Nick's list might be his favorite.
The main problem
films,
here is
but
the
me
fact
and
that
Diego
we
are
all
like
have good
films we
taste.
really.
it doesn't
like.
matter.
I love
who,
the movies that you have.
Also,
Yeah,
here's the
it's
thing:
just-
it doesn't matter who says it. We're just discussing these movies. You can say things
what
about
I
it. I
just
can say, look, we're discussing these movies,
That's
so
what I
it's
just
not like.
fucking said. I just
Yeah,
fucking
but
said.
you don't
You
say
took
it-
our movies.
You need to
You
spit
took
it out
our
of your
movies.
fucking mouth.
You took our movies.
Yeah.
All right, all right.
You took our movie, but we all
Sue
have
me.
good taste. This just says you have good taste.
You know what? Do the podcast without me. I'm fucking gone. All right, my next film, best film ever in the history of films.
Franchise.
That's hard to say.
Good franchise.
Franchise.
Yeah, try it
Great,
again. One more
great,
time. One more time. One more
great
time.
franchise.
It's a great franchise.
Great
I'm
franchise.
gonna say it's a great franchise. I love this movie though. This is definitely a quintessential buddy cop film. I think this is like probably the if you want to say buddy cop, this is what you think of. Lethal Weapon.
Yes.
Okay, Danny
Yes.
Glover and Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
Martin Riggs and Roger Murtaugh.
Murtaugh.
Riggs
Yes.
and Murtaugh.
Riggs
Yeah.
and Murtaugh.
It's so good.
How many of them are there now? It's
Four.
like seven.
Four.
Didn't they do? But they did the sequels after with.
Oh, 5 and 6. They did do. They did
On-
5 and 6. Yeah, with
That's Always
But the
Sunny.
problem with that one was that Mac and Dennis switched roles
multiple
halfway through.
times.
Yeah.
Multiple
So
times. Yeah.
when he's doing blackface.
I'm
and
not
then
a
he's
huge
taking
fan.
shower.
I'm not a huge fan of blackface, especially whenever it's a shower scene and all the
It's
blackface
like
is washing
off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, those are good.
Oh, that's a
but
great
the
film.
original Lethal Weapon. I would say it's. You know, I got to tell you something. That fourth Lethal Weapon is really
That
good.
love
but
that you.
That
Yeah.
With Jet
that might
Li?
be my favorite.
It's really good, but I like the original. I like them meeting. I like the darkness of that
Yeah.
original
Christmas
one.
time.
Christmas time.
Great Christmas
Yes.
movie.
Yeah, Shane Black. He puts Christmas in all his movies. He wrote that one. But that original Lethal Weapon is just so right from the beginning with the aerial shots through LA and that blue font kind of titles and the Jingle Bell Rock playing. And then we go into the apartment. There's that topless woman, snorts cocaine, and then jumps off the fucking balcony
Yeah.
to her death. Landing
Yeah.
in the car. Like, that's how the
Daughter, yeah.
movie fucking starts.
Yeah.
It's really dark.
Yeah.
But the chemistry between Mel Gibson and Danny Glover's character is fucking awesome.
So natural.
Like, you
You
would,
know, yeah, it's weird because I like look back on these 80s films that were like these buddy cop films and they like capture a darkness of like as a child, I remember thinking like I never want to go to LA because it's filled
Yeah.
with people on cocaine committing suicide
Yeah.
or murdering each other.
There's
like
Uzis everywhere.
Same thing with New York. Like the representation of New York was just like that it was a dangerous, wasn't fun. It was like killings and all this
Yeah.
stuff. And as an adult, I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it was like that. Maybe it was more like that in the 80s. I don't know. Was this?
it
is
just
this a
doesn't mean it was
closer
everywhere.
representation?
It wasn't everywhere, but
It wasn't.
was like,
It definitely
yeah.
wasn't everywhere.
But it
I mean,
existed. Yeah, like New York in the 80s was
I
very
don't know. I feel like
dark
the
and
films
crime
today
ridden.
don't capture that.
No, they
that
don't.
feeling.
And I think that's because at least those areas aren't like they once were.
Yeah.
And I believe they were just a product of the times.
Yeah.
Things were like that. It was more prominent, but now it's like if you go to New York, you couldn't create a gritty New York film unless you're doing a throwback and recreating the streets and the scenes and the violence of it.
Because New York isn't that gritty anymore.
It's not.
Or
New York
maybe
is
there are
not
areas
gritty.
of it that are
Not
gritty. I
even
don't
really.
know.
Honestly, I'm from New York, and I'll tell you, it's just not like that.
So it's just a
anymore.
bunch of rich millennials.
No, that's all that
living it up.
happened. It edged out a lot of shit. Like that's what it is.
It's been gentrified. Is what you're saying.
When you think Brooklyn now, you think trendy. Back in the day when you thought Brooklyn, you thought,
I ain't going to Brooklyn.
bang bang, like that was just what it was like. But
Yeah.
it's just not. It doesn't mean everybody died all the time. Like that's the
no,
problem
but
people think.
there
But
was more danger.
yes, there was more danger
crime.
around you, but
Yeah.
the majority.
Yeah.
When you look at, oh my God, 1,000 people died in a year. That's a lot of people, but there's millions of people living there, so it's not actually not everybody. You're not in danger of getting. You're not getting.
Well, not
shot.
died, but
not everybody's
murdered.
getting killed. Yeah,
So-
Murdered is more
Murdered.
specific.
Yeah.
A lot more people probably died.
Exactly.
but-
So Lethal Weapon was a product of that time. So that's why if you look at the fourth Lethal Weapon, it doesn't actually feel as dangerous.
No, it
You notice
doesn't.
the difference because that was
Yeah.
98. The other one was 87.
Yeah.
So it's like or whatever.
it was more of an immigration issue in the fourth
Right,
one.
Yeah, it was.
But even the city and like the spaces they were going through, it didn't feel as dark as the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, that first one is great. I like them linking up. I like how crazy Riggs was in the first movie. He's a little bit crazy in the second one, and by the third and fourth one, he's fine. He's not mentally
Oh, yeah,
unstable.
he's
But he's
with,
like ready to eat a bullet in the first one.
He's with what's her name now?
Renee
so-
Russo.
Yeah,
She meets her in the
she
third
calms
one.
him down.
Yeah, she does. But you
She
don't.
tames the beast.
Yeah.
That's right. And but every movie in this franchise added something that added to that buddy cop flick. Because in the fourth one, the whole thing is about being family. Like it's
Right.
like the gangs all here is what the slogan said, or the line.
Well, they've been
on the poster said the gangs
Yeah.
all here, and it shows everybody. Like it becomes this family thing, and it ends with so what are you guys all friends or whatever? He goes, we're family in
Yeah.
the hospital, and they take this photo.
Then why can't we be
That-
friends?
Why can't we?
Yeah.
Be friends? So that is kind of the feeling throughout these movies, and it adds to it. The first one you have Riggs and Murtaugh, and then the
Yeah.
second one you have Leo Getz, which is Joe Pesci's character is introduced. And the third one you have Rene Russo
Yep.
introduced, and the fourth one Chris Rock technically, who was good. He was a good addition to it.
Yeah.
So
he
it
was
kind of
the son-in-law.
that's right. Yeah. So it kind of just keeps
And they kept it
increasing.
all the same.
Yeah.
Murtaugh's family, everybody was
Yeah.
the same. The kind of like
Because he was a
minor-
cop.
Yeah,
I
they
thought
weren't
that was
even
great.
big actors. One of them was his daughter.
Yeah.
Was a model.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
his wife was a singer. Darlene Love is a singer from like the 60s and 70s. Like
Yeah.
she did some like Motown hits.
Yeah.
So it's like, but that's the feeling you get. It's like in all this chaos, there's these bonds and this chemistry, and I think those movies do it better than most buddy cop flicks.
Yeah.
They really kind of show you that. Even at the end of the first one, you see that Riggs has kind of chilled out a little bit because he found somebody, like a kinship with somebody that he lost because his wife was killed, and he
Yeah.
kind of lost his will to live.
I think that
Was the first one the one with the? No, it was the second one, the one with the toilet, right?
Yes, that was the second one.
Yeah.
Where Roger Murtaugh, where Roger is on the toilet and there's a bomb strapped to it. And so he's reading his bass fishing magazine and he can't move once he pulls the toilet paper and it says boom, you're dead. And then he sees that there's a bomb connected. And so he Riggs like can't find him, so he goes to his house and he finds out he's on the toilet and there's
Yeah.
a bomb there and he's freaking out.
Yeah.
So they do that whole fucking thing where they get the bomb shield, and then he goes, ready, 1, 2, 3, and they jump in the fucking bathtub.
Wait, are we
and
going
it
on
all
3?
explodes.
Are we going on
We're
3?
Are we going on 3 or we're going 1, 2, 3 and then go, or 1, 2, 3 go? Like, which one is it?
That was a
It's
great
really,
scene.
oh man.
It's a great scene, yeah.
But all of them, the third one is probably the weakest out of all of them, but it's still a really good one. That gets
Yeah.
more into the street gangs.
Yeah, it was able to like handle the balance between like drama and comedy.
Yes.
Like it was
Yeah.
funny and it
Yeah.
could also like make you, feel something.
Yeah, you
Like,
really
especially
did
the
feel
in a
first
way, it
film,
was
yeah.
able to keep it together and also separate the two.
Yeah.
So it's like you really were watching them at home, and then you really were watching them at work.
Yeah.
type
And it
of
felt
thing, you know?
natural, yeah.
It felt natural, yeah.
And
exactly.
it's really funny because directors, it really in the hands of a lesser director, it may have ended with one movie. It may
Yeah.
have never been that good, but you had Richard Donner who directed it. This is the guy who directed The Omen, the original Superman movie.
Yeah.
Goonies.
He directed Goonies.
Yeah.
He directed Maverick, the Lethal Weapon film, Scrooged,
we should
Yeah.
also mention the
Conspiracy Theory.
Scrooge, but also in Maverick, there's a scene
Scene
where
with-
because it's Mel Gibson plays the main
Yeah,
character
Danny
of
Glover.
Maverick, and
Yeah.
then he sees Danny Glover in like this bank that
They had
Danny,
this,
Danny
like, they
Glover's
recognize
robbing,
each other.
and they stop and look at each other and like, huh? And then he's like,
They're like,
and then they
nah.
look back and they're like, huh? and then they're like,
Because it's the same
it
director.
was amazing.
It was great, yeah.
I
was
love
great.
it.
It is
I love
great.
that shit.
Yeah, Riggs and Murtaugh. Anyways.
That's breaking the fourth wall a little bit. I love
A
that.
little bit, a nod to another world or another
Yeah.
universe.
That was great.
But I just, each one of those movies brought something different. The first one you had Gary Busey and that whole military aspect
Yeah.
of it. The second one you had the South Africans.
Dude, when he like put that lighter under his skin
yeah.
and he just like held it there and
Yep.
it's like getting burned. And
Yeah.
that was
And
great.
the second one with the South Africans and the Kugurans and
Yeah.
all that. And then the third one, you had the more street gang stuff
Yeah.
and the guy with the cop killers.
Yeah.
He was an ex-cop. And then the fourth one, you had Jet Li.
the
who was
triad or
the triad and all
Yeah.
that. Yeah. And the forefathers, the
He was-
four fathers.
and it was
Yeah.
about his family too.
Yeah,
that's the whole
yeah,
thing.
Rene Russo was pregnant, and like that fourth film is just, I wouldn't expect them to just, but they almost each one
they
recreated
acknowledge
something
that they're
new.
Yeah,
old.
yeah.
Yeah, these are
Yeah.
old guys who are like retiring and they're like,
Even he
do I want
finally
to
realizes
die
he's
for
old.
this?
Yeah, even
yeah.
Mel
Like there's
Gibson
that scene
is
at,
aging.
Yeah, there's that scene at the end where they're both underneath the dock or whatever, and Jet Li's there, and they're gonna like confront him physically.
Yeah.
And they're like,
How did he do that movie? How did he get that gun away from us?
yeah, and you're like,
He
he's
goes,
like,
"Well,
gotta ask him. Yeah,
Let's go
and you're
ask
like,
him.
these two guys are gonna like they could die.
Yeah, 'cause
like,
he's-
Jet Li is literally gonna murder
He's
these
a
old
weapon,
men.
and they just killed
Yeah.
his brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's
And
like really super pissed.
Like
and he's
that
a
moment
fucking
was
living
so
weapon.
memorable. For
He's
me.
a
That's
lethal
the
weapon.
whole. Yeah,
He's a lethal weapon.
That was the whole thing about that film too. Is like every aspect of that film was based on a family.
Yeah, even the guy,
Even-
bad guy in that one. Yeah.
Even Jet Li was based on his family. And
Yeah,
then,
I like that. I like
Mel
that they had
Gibson
that.
was based of him having his first kid.
Yep.
And then what's his name?
Chris Rock, Darlie.
Chris Rock and
Chris
Darlie,
Rock
yeah.
is having a kid.
And
with
let's
this-
not forget Joe Pesci with Froggy.
Joe Pesci.
Joe
Froggy.
Pesci with Froggy, yeah,
Why
Talk
he's
about
connected.
it.
Yeah.
Talk about it. That scene at the end.
That's just so. It's one of my favorite scenes in the whole series of films.
Because
where
Mel
he's-
Gibson, Riggs is at the gravesite of his
at
wife
his
who
former-
died before the first movie.
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
talking, saying, I'm really in love with, Renee Russo's character. Like, I really love her. And he's kind of trying to get her blessing.
Fucking piece of shit Joe Pesci
Shows
shows,
up.
up, annoying the fuck out of him while he's talking to his dead wife
Yes.
at her gravestone.
And this is Leo Getz, and they've treated him like shit through all the
Oh, they
movies.
treat
and
him
he's
like
annoying.
garbage. He is annoying. He's like,
But
hey,
that's-
wait. He is actually an annoying character, but this like weird moment happens.
Yeah. Where he
where-
talks about.
Yeah.
And he says he had
He-
this friend. He didn't have any friends when he was a kid, but
Yeah.
he had one friend. He had this frog, and he loved that frog. He called him Froggy.
Yeah.
And he'd keep him in the basket in the front of his bike when he ride. And one time he jumped out and he ran over Froggy. And you want to kind of laugh
He
at that
like
moment.
killed his
Yeah.
friend.
He killed his friend, but then
Yeah.
you get that like, oh, it's funny, but at the same time, it's like, oh, he really felt like he was torn apart. This was his only friend in the whole world, and he killed
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
And he's like, and he never really met somebody else like Frog, or somebody that like treated him like that he had a kinship with until he met Riggs and Murtaugh. And yeah, they treat him like certain ways, but he just knows that it's still like they're his
Yeah.
friends.
It was like, it was like this great moment
And he
where
goes,
like
we treat
you
you
didn't
like
really
shit.
think.
He goes like, we treat you like shit.
I know. That's what's so great
Yeah.
about it because he acknowledges that
Yeah.
that they treat him like shit, but to him, it's like the best thing as
their
far as
kinship,
friends go
yeah.
that's ever happened to him, which
That's
I
right.
thought was cool.
And then at that moment, his wife goes into labor and he gets the beep.
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
he goes, that's a hell of a sign. He goes, honey, like he goes, oh, I'll meet you at the car. And he goes back to, he goes, that was a hell of a sign or hell of an angel
Hell
to
of
send
an angel,
me.
yeah.
He goes, he's like, but I think I got the message.
I got the message. Yeah, it was
That's
good.
awesome.
Because I love you. You always be up here and in here.
Yeah.
Heart in the head. Oh man,
Wow.
I love those movies. I got to
Yeah.
tell you, just
Yeah.
all four of them. But that fourth one was a great. I hope they don't do a fifth one. They talked about that for years, and I really don't want them to do one because the fourth one ended beautifully. It
Yeah.
wrapped it up for me.
Yeah.
I'm satisfied. I don't want a fifth one. I don't like. I don't need it. Plus, Richard Donner's like in his 80s now. He's not really directing much these days.
Oh,
so-
they've already had that TV show reboot. Is that still on?
yeah, it's on. Yeah, where Damon Wayans plays Murtaugh.
Yeah.
And the other guy. Yeah, it's decent. I don't really watch TV like that, but I've seen a couple episodes and it's okay.
Yeah.
It's not bad, but it's its own world.
All
All right,
right.
that's my list.
Neil, what's your list?
Well-
wait.
Oh, wait.
We're running.
Oh.
I'm sorry. You know what? Sorry,
you
we're gonna have to cut
Time.
you for time, Neil.
Time.
Wow.
I think we really fucked you.
Wow.
I'm sorry. We're actually no, but seriously, I think we've run out of time.
I will
haven't we?
literally
No,
say
it-
that our banter has shifted you to the next
Wow.
episode.
I blame this on Diego.
I blame this
on
on
the
Nick.
whole 7 argument and
So even blame.
he also takes forever to get out like what the fucking plot of the movie. Just say the shit. Speak with
just-
your chest, motherfucker.
He always
These-
interrupts
these
the
fucking
motherfucker
guys.
talking and wants to have his own fucking.
No, it's I want to
Bible.
talk about all of these films as much as you guys. So it's like,
All right.
you
Well,
know.
here's what we'll do. We'll save your 3 films.
Yeah.
And I think you have an honorable mention in there as well. And I have an idea what some of the ones on your list are, and those can go an entire episode. So we'll just split this into a part 1, part 2. Why don't we just
yeah,
do that?
and then
All
we'll
right?
make it Neil's podcast.
Yes.
Get to the Neil.
That's how we stroke your
Boom.
ego.
There you go.
All right, nobody's stroking anything. All right.
All right, cool.
That sounds like a plan.
Let's do
Where's
that.
the? You got to add that. You know.
We
the
need.
drum.
I'm gonna add the rim shot in post. I'll just.
What are you calling it?
It's called a rim shot,
Rim shot.
not a rim job. It's a
That
rim
sounds
shot.
bad.
It does actually sound bad, but that's what it's called. By the way, it's called a rim
Hey.
shot.
All right.
All right, good. So we'll,
good with that?
We'll do that part 2.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Next,
Out of
next week we'll do
respect-
next week will be part 2.
Out of respect
Okay,
for you,
cool.
we're gonna give you a full episode.
Boom.
Boom.
Bam.
All right.
Boom.
There you go. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us at Get to the Podcast. Let's get to the podcast with the number 2. I'm Tiago D'Souza.
I'm Nick Gambino.
And I'm Neil Carson.
Why did you even say your name? I mean, it's just
I
like
don't
you
know,
didn't even
I-
contribute anything.
What do you mean?
Where's your list?
All
I'd
right,
just
well,
like
you're
to
right.
say
I
that
didn't. I
Nick stole my.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.